Oh, hi guys, can see you come in there. How's it going? What you looking at? Oh, I see. The gun. You're probably wondering to yourself, Jesus Christ, why is that gun so big? I mean, what the hell's wrong with this guy? Is he overcompensating for something? Well, let me tell you a little story. A smart man once said that everything is better when it's bigger. And I don't just mean in the bedroom. So, one thing that's always fantastic and bound to turn out great is hype for a movie. It does fantastic things for the movie, and it makes it so much better when you go in already thinking the film is going to be fantastic, so that it has to meet up to your expectations and hit the bar that's been set. So, with all that in mind, let's go into the film I'm reviewing today with big expectations. This is my review of Kingsman, The Golden Circle. Let's do it. Okay, thanks for sticking around through that very cringy introduction, guys. To be honest, by now you've probably realised that all my videos are really cringy, and it has a sort of charm, I like to think. But welcome back to Web on the Web. So today I'm going to be reviewing a film that I have been really hyped for. My expectations have been really high since the original came out in 2014. That is Kingsman, The Golden Circle. And just to give you an idea of how much I love the Kingsman franchise, the original film was actually my film of the year for 2014. So go figure, I was really excited for the sequel. So when director Matthew Vaughn announced that he was going to return to the Kingsman franchise for the sequel, I was just like, hallelujah! I was just like, yes, fuck yes, let's do this. And then the first trailer came out earlier this year, and I was just like, oh yeah, here we go. I'm so excited. It just seemed like it was continuing like what I loved about the original Kingsman, that whole retro Bondian spy movie, this like espionage movie type thing. And I was really looking forward to seeing how they developed that formula and how it evolved into the sequel. Taron Egerton was announced to be returning as Eggsy, and I was really excited for that. And then I got a bit of an announcement that Colin Firth was actually in the film, and I was like, okay, didn't you have your eyes shut out, mate? Spoiler. But sorry, I should have put that before. We don't give a shit here. No, I'm only joking, guys. But yeah, I was a bit like, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's dead. But okay, I'll roll with it. I love Kingsman, and I'm a big fan of Vaughn's work. I've loved everything from Kick-Ass to X-Men First Class to Kingsman. So I was like, okay, I trust Matt Vaughn. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he brings Colin Firth's character Harry back into the film. So first off, let's just get this out of the way. Did Kingsman: The Golden Circle live up to all the hype, all of the nostalgia, and all of the love that I had for the first film? Well, no, it did not. I'm going to be frank. Is this seriously in the same franchise as the first one? Because it feels completely different. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, I still had a good bit of fun here. I enjoyed my time watching it. But is this really what the fans wanted, Matt Vaughn? I mean, Matt, like, seriously? Okay, I'm gonna break this down to you guys. This film is huge. It's really disappointing. The characters, a lot of them fall flat on their arse. They're just stereotypes, big American, oh, howdy partner, I like to drink whiskey bourbon all day, goddammit, my name's Tequila Sunrise. They're like cowboy stereotypes, which, okay, I was like, alright, I'll roll with that. Then you have a serious issue in here with your characters, and I'm going to go into that in a minute. But I'm just going to go I'm sorry guys, as you can see my mind is all over the place, just like this film is, it's all over the fucking place. So, I'm going to start off with the story and the editing, and this is probably where the film falls flattest for me. There are some good parts that I really enjoyed, like I mentioned before, but the story and editing, this is where the film just, it immediately starts to fall apart from like the first 5 minutes that I started watching it. So, just to give you an idea, the film starts off with like a shot of Eggsy leaving the Kingsman shop, and I'm apologising for spoilers here guys, but this is exactly what happens at the beginning of the film. If you don't want to me to tell you what happens, leave now. It's not a massive spoiler, but still, you might not want to see it, you might want to go in fresh and all that. So Eggsy leaves the Kingsman shop in London, and they're standing outside the shop. This is what happens at the exact beginning. There's nothing to build this up. It's a hooded figure. He pulls down his hood and he's like, "Hey, can you spare a few coppers there, mate?" He pulls down his hood and it's Charlie Flanagan, who was like one of the other applicants for the position that became available in the Kingsman in the first film. He's a bit of a bastard. If you've seen the first film, you'll understand why. But he, just like Harry in the first film, Colin Firth's character, he actually died. And don't bullshit me, Matt Vaughan. I know you explain it through the use of a little MacGuffin in the film, just like you do with Colin Firth. I'll go into that in a minute. But you explain through the use of MacGuffin several times throughout this film why certain characters who we thought were dead in the first film are actually alive. So here's the first one. It comes with Charlie. He died. No, he was not killed. Because apparently Eggsy shocked him or something and short-circuited the bomb, the remote control bomb that was implanted in his neck. And so apparently because Eggsy shocked him, that short-circuited the chip, and now he's alive, albeit he lost his arm and his vocal cords. So he has a massive CGI like robotic arm. And I think this is where the budget for the film went, to be honest. Because, like, I don't see the budget anywhere else, to be honest. So he just walks up to him and he's like, "You're dead." And then all these guys come in, they start firing at Eggsy, and it goes into this massive car chase without any exposition, any plot development, any build-up to this. We're just thrown right into the action, and I'm just like, okay, this is pretty good action, but why should I care? Like... something feels missing here. It's almost like so if this was if this hadn't been done digitally, you know how all film is now handled digitally. It's not shot on film anymore. But if this had been the golden age of cinema and someone had shot it in film, I think the story structure of this film would kind of be like this. "Oh, hey, how are you? Yeah. Pretty good day, isn't it?" "Yeah, I know. Like, so do you see the news? Like, fuck, this film's gonna be a masterpiece. I mean, oh, fuck." So, as you can see there, guys, yeah, it's pretty bad. So, basically, it does feel like someone just went hacking at the film with a pair of scissors and cut out a considerable bit of exposition from the beginning of the film, because we're just thrown into the action and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Now, I'd like to know if there actually was like a bit of action, like a scene or something that was before this that has been cut or something, because it really doesn't make sense. And a good friend of mine from my class in college actually said something to me about this the other day. A shout out to you, man. How you doing, Jordan? Yeah, I shouted you out, but so basically, my friend Jordan, he said to me the other day that there's a scene that's a little later into the film where Eggsy is at his now girlfriend. Like, you remember the the Swedish princess from the first film? Yeah, I think we all remember her. I think we all remember her a bit fondly, you know. But anyway, so he's at this dinner with where he gets to meet her parents, who are the king and queen of Sweden. We're getting a bit bogged down with characters here now, guys. But so my friend mentioned that the film would have made a hell of a lot more sense if that scene had been before the action than the first scene, because then we would have had like a bit of exposition, a little bit of introduction to the new world that we're in. But unfortunately we don't, so we have to stick with what we have here. So what I'm going to say about the story is it's a mess. There's characters being introduced all over the place, characters like exiting, characters entering, plot points all over the place. Several people are like, the plot is, at several points in this film, the plot is pushed forward by MacGuffins. And I'm just like, I'd like a strong plot development. I don't want to be pushed along by some little element of like, or a prop, or a little like, I don't know, a prop or like a small event that doesn't really, just seems to come out of nowhere, that pushes along the plot. That's not smart plot development, and it's a bit all over the place. It makes it hard to like feel for the characters like I did in the first film. It just kind of lost its charm. Now, there are some really funny moments in this film. I'm going to give that. And I have to give it props. The screening I actually went to, there were parts in this film where the audience, the entire audience, started laughing out loud. And I love to be in those like experiences. Like, I know some people say cinema's meant to be a private experience where everyone's shut, like, dead silent. They've all just shut up and they're just watching the film. But it's nice to go in and like be in a bit of like it's a bit kind of like a bit of a collective like audience experience where everyone's laughing, everyone's crying. Like, I love those reactions. It conjures up feelings of classical cinema. Like, and anyone who's in second year film and screen media, shout out to you guys. You know what I'm on about. But it's a lovely, lovely experience to be in a film and to just everyone starts laughing out loud at something that is hilarious. And another film that did this very well was Deadpool. I can remember that from the screening I went to. That was a good film, by the way. If you still haven't seen Deadpool, this is a completely random shout out. Well, it's not actually, because they're made by the same film production company. But go watch Deadpool. But anyway, so yeah, so it's nice to have those little like scenes of laughter, crying, and all of that. But at the same time, I don't want my enjoyment of the film to be completely based on like the audience reaction. That's nice, but I want to have my own personal reaction as well. I want to feel for these characters. I want to grow to love the new characters that are being introduced, and I want to have an awesome time like watching the story unfold, just like I did with the first film. And this film just doesn't do that for me, unfortunately. And a big part of that probably has to come down to what I mentioned before, the editing. It's choppy, it's all over the place. It seriously feels like someone went with a pair of scissors and went like, just like this. They just went like that and cut the film up into bits, and then was just like, oh, bollocks. Matt's not going to like this. Okay, I can pick this. This goes here, this goes here. Okay, action scene first, yes. Dinner scene later. Yes, this is so logical, this works. No, it doesn't. And if that was you who like called that, you made a bad call, I'm afraid. And I'm kind of getting bad like Batman vs Superman vibes off this in terms of the editing. As you all know, notoriously, I am a pretty big fan of Batman vs Superman, but I will admit that the editing in that film was shit. It was all over the place, and it feels like that again here. So, Matt, if you are going forward with another Kingsman film, please next time pay attention to your plot and also make sure that the editing is sound, because that really took me out of the moment. I got to admit it. Now, I'm going to talk about something that I really enjoyed about the film. I thought was fantastic, and that was the cinematography and action. There are some fantastic, breathtaking shots in this film. For example, there's a scene where there's the opening car chase in London. I mentioned that a few gripes about that, but you have to admit that shot well. Like, it looks really cool. Like, going through the streets of London late at night, in tight concise space in a taxi cab, having a brawl with this massive hulking dude with a big ass metal arm. That's really cool, and that really reminded me of the original Kingsman. In those little moments, such as in the first film where Samuel L. Jackson's assistant, who has knives for legs, runs in and cuts this dude in half. That was awesome, and I love that type of stuff. And I was glad to see that here in Kingsman 2. Another scene that I really feel that the cinematography shined in was the ski lodge scene where they're in the mountains and they have to go and they have to get this MacGuffin. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's another bit of a MacGuffin. But
Anyway, so they're trying to break into the into the evil mountain base. It looks really cool. Like there's a scene, if you've seen the trailer, there's a scene where they're in a, what's it called? What's it called? One of those things, sky cars or something. I can't remember what they're called. It's going to come back to me now later, and I'm going to be like, God damn it, why didn't I remember that in the moment? But so they're in the cable car. That's what it is, the cable car. I see, it did come back to me. But anyway, so they're all in the cable car, and the line gets cut, and they're falling down to the ground. That looked really, really cool, especially on the big screen. And I really like to see what this film looks like in 4K, like when the 4K Blu-ray does launch. By the way, I just got my 4K Blu-ray player. Can't wait to see it. That's the first film I'm going to be watching on it, by the way, Logan. I love that film, by the way. It's one of the best films of this year. I'm just plugging other films that 20th Century Fox made this year, haven't I? Go and watch any other film other than this. No. But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how the colours and the action will pop on my 4K TV when that does come out. However, there are a few gripes I have with the cinematography in the film, and some of that comes down to actually how they're shot. So, what I mean by that, okay, sorry, this is going to sound a little convoluted, but in this film, in several instances, basically some of the shots are ripped directly from the first film and just slapped here, and they redo them. So, one example, they redo the mirror scene from, you know, the tell me what you see, Eggsy. I see someone who wants to know what the fuck is going on. I see a young man with potential. In this one, it's tell me what you see. In this one, this is a bit of a spoiler again, guys. So if you don't want to hear this, just leave. But Eggsy, tell me what you see. Oh, I see a guy who's wondering what the fuck he's doing. I see a man who's risen up to the great potential that he had. That was a nice little moment. I was okay with that. But then I noticed they redone the bar scene, and they've tried to rehash the church scene. And I'm starting to get a bit, okay, that's pretty lazy. I liked those scenes. They were awesome scenes in the first film. And it was nice. They were nice little callbacks, but like, it would have been okay if it was one like little callback to the first film. But this is lazy filmmaking, because we're tying right back to the first film, and you're trying to capture the audience attention, and you're trying to make the audience feel like, oh, this is a fantastic film, because it's exactly the same as the first one, when it's not actually. But what you're doing is you're ripping elements from the first film and just slapping them in there. I don't appreciate that, guys. And yeah, I think that's lazy. And I would have been okay with it if it was once, but it's done about 4 or 5 times throughout this film, and I'm just like, yeah, nah, sorry. I'm sorry, I can't. No, sorry, no. So unfortunately, yeah, I don't like the way the film's structured in some points. It's just too lazy, and it's just, they could have done something really great here, but instead they just go and they rehash the first film and take stuff out of it, and it doesn't feel good. And I'm really disappointed with Matthew Vaughn about that. Finally, I'm going to talk about the characters, and this is going to be a bit confusing. So first off, we're going to start with Eggsy, played by Taron Egerton. He's really good once again. He was great in the first film. Personally, I actually prefer him in the first film, because he was untrained, he was untempered. He was becoming an agent, he was becoming a gentleman. In this film, he's meant to be a gentleman, obviously, and like at points there are ties back to his street origins, but like, I just prefer the story of him becoming a gentleman too, rather than him already being a gentleman. So yeah, so I prefer Eggsy's story in the first film, but Taron Egerton's really good, and I really enjoyed him in this film. Colin Firth as Harry Hart Galahad. I really loved that character. That was probably my favourite character in the first film. Here, though, okay, so I think he personally doesn't belong in this film. This is just my personal opinion. And please, Colin Firth fanboys, don't kill me, don't crucify me. I love Colin Firth as well, but this just feels like Matthew Vaughn was like, oh no, people are really, really pissed off that they killed him off in the first film. I better bring him back. How do I do it? MacGuffin time! But yeah, so basically he's brought back by the use of like something that's really stupid. If you ask me, it's just like, is that? I'm gonna use a term. It's a Deus Ex Machina, which means it's too perfect and it comes out of nowhere, and it's like, nah, sorry, that's defying like logic way too much. Like, he was shot in the fucking head. The bullet went into his brain. Sorry, but he's dead. Like, what they're trying to explain here, I'm not gonna go into it, but I'm not a fan of it at all. And there are some cool things that they do with Harry in this film. For example, when he does come back, he's got shit like amnesia, he's lost his memory, and when they do finally trip his memory and he remembers who he is, he's having these little like crisis of like who he actually is and like all of that, and it's affecting his agent work. I really like those little bits, but other than that, Firth is really struggling with the material here. He's not as snappy and as witty as he was in the first film, where I loved him. So yeah, I think that he doesn't belong here. Finally, I'm going to talk about the villain, who in this film is now played by Julianne Moore. Her name's Poppy, and she's fucking psychopath. I love these kind of roles because like she's crazy, she's super strong. From one minute she's just like, oh hi darling, welcome to my kitchen, and she's like welcoming people over the table to have a chat with her. She seems like a lovely woman, like girl. But then like this, oh, you shouldn't have done that. Oh no, Mama's not happy at all. And then she does something that's super fucked up, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's pretty ballsy. So I really liked Julianne Moore as Poppy. I thought she was a great villainess. Personally, if it was between her and Samuel L. Jackson, I'd probably still go with Valentine. But they got the villain right, if you ask me. She's really fun, and I really enjoyed every scene she was in. So, the final verdict, guys. Unfortunately, this film is nowhere near the level of the original Kingsman. While it does have some good points to it, the negatives outweigh the positives here. So, we're going from my film of the year in 2014 to a film that's not even going to scratch the list. And unfortunately, I was going to give it a 6 out of 10 originally, but upon further thought of all these things, I'm going to have to give it a 5 out of 10, guys. It's a real disappointment, and I'm really, really, really disappointed with it. And, yeah. So, that's the review, guys. 5 out of 10. God damn it, Matt. I was really looking forward to this one. So, thanks for watching, guys. And, be sure to click the like, comment, subscribe, all of that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.